Welcome back to the Lightforge Podcast Murder at Castle Nathria card review stream podcast. VOD. This is Adwicta.
This is Merps. Hi, we're doing Priest. Always doing annoying things. Remember, they have Mass Hysteria and Hysteria back. Two cards that, aren't like the most powerful cards ever printed, but super duper annoying. And the fact that they introduced some RNG factor is going to tilt you off the face of this planet. Let's see what cards they have, in addition to these super annoying clears.
Alright, so Priest is starting off with a 4 mana 2/5 common. Partner in Crime. Battle Cry. Summon a copy of this minion at the end of your turn. So you can put the 2/5 down, you can buff it, and then it'll create a copy of itself at the end of the turn. Or you can do absolutely nothing and it's 2/2/5s for 4 mana. It's an A tier card.
It's an A tier card. The only thing holding it back is the 2/5 body is not like super great, Like double 2/5 bodies are not amazing. It's just still really, really good.
It's
Like
14 stats.
Yeah, it's still a lot of stats. You kind of wish it were maybe distributed a little bit better. I mean, sometimes these are exactly the stats you want. Like if you're trying to stall and everything. Um, but yeah, like it's just a ton of value, and then the times in which you can buff it and then it clones itself, holy heck, it is supremely good.
Premium class card. Not busted, right? Because of the stat
It's not
distribution
busted.
thing. But
Yeah.
premium class card. Alright, next up is a card. By the way, if you were listening to the last episode of the podcast, I said we would be doing Rogue next. It's because I saw the first card that was on the list, which is this next one. It's Identity Theft. And I was like, oh, we're doing Rogue next. No, Identity Theft is a Priest card. It is a Priest common card, 3 mana, Shadow spell. Discover a copy of a card from your opponent's hand and deck. So, you're getting 2 cards for 3 mana, which in Arcane Intellect isn't really
What
good
score
anymore.
is this?
This one is a B+. Almost
Okay.
an A. You get to discover a copy of a card from your opponent's hand and deck. So you're getting a very good of your opponent's card, 2 of them. And you get to see 3 cards in their hand. So if this was just Arcane Intellect, it would be like a D+. Maybe a low C. But this is a B+, because you're discovering and you're getting information.
This is a card in which, if you think about it, because you can choose when you use it, as you get later on in the game, not too late, right? Not like super duper late, and both of you guys are just playing top decks. But as you're at turn 8, for example, they don't have that many cards. If they are holding on to a bomb, you get it. Like you are probably gonna get that bomb, right?
And if they're not holding a bomb, you can probably win.
Yeah, you can probably win. And then, of course, you get a card from their deck as well. And remember, they drafted their deck, so yeah. It's just really nice. Like, I think you will be able to isolate and play it on a turn in which, if they have a bomb, well, now you have it too. And you get something from their deck that you get to discover. So it's a premium draw. This is like premium card generation / draw here.
Yep. And the problem is the same with all cards that do nothing but draw you cards. It's a dead card for a lot of the game. And it's the Ysera problem. Like, people look at it and they're like, oh, when I play it, it's so powerful, it's so worth it. It's like, yeah, but when are you playing it? Like, what if this ability said Infuse 8? Because that's probably when you're playing it. Alright. Next up is The Light. It burns, the other common priest spell. It is a 1 mana holy spell. I say it like that because there's an exclamation point after the light and it burns. So you have to say, the light, it burns. There's no other way to pronounce this card. Otherwise, you're just wrong. And it says...
bees!
Exactly.
Like you have to say it
you
like
can't
that.
be like, oh, I'm playing bees.
I'm playing bees. No. It is bees!
Mm-hmm.
It has to be like that.
Okay, so 1 mana holy spell, deal damage to a minion equal to its attack. I love it. Very priest-like. It is a B, so it is a good priest card. It deals more damage than a 1 mana card probably should.
Yeah, it's tempo. Like it's a tempo play from priest. It's once again it's a tempo play, but it's also conditional removal. So this is sort of like a shadow word, whatever, right? Whether it's a shadow word death or a shadow word pain. It's a nice tempo removal, but you don't always get to use it, or it doesn't always fit.
Yeah. You guys think of it as like a mini execute, because whenever something's damaged, its attack is probably more than its health at that point. But again, it's still conditional even on that. It's just got a lot of conditions attached to it, which is why it's not like even higher. But otherwise, it's very good tempo removal.
All right, next.
Next up is Partner in Crime. Oh, sorry, no, we already did that. Next up is Suspicious Usher. Once I find it on this list, there we go. So 1 mana, 1/3. Battlecry, discover a legendary minion. If your opponent guesses your choice, they get a copy. I think we've seen this card before. So this is very similar to the previous card. What class was it? Was that Mage?
It was mage. Yeah, it was the 1/3. Like you do the similar thing.
Yeah, you do the similar thing. But here you're discovering a legendary minion, and it's the same things apply, right? Like, don't give your opponent the bomb that will ruin your situation on the board, but at the same time, normally just pick the best card and then hope your opponent gets it wrong. And it's an A tier card, by the way, same as the other one.
Good. See, reading the score after the card. Okay, excellent.
All right.
Let's do that.
Next is the Priest location. Cathedral of Atonement is the Priest location. This is an A tier card. 3 mana, 3 charges. Give a minion +2/+1 and draw a card. A tier card. 3 mana, draw 3 cards eventually. And also buff, what is this, 9 stats? That could also be like, because it's a buff, it could be like rushy or chargy stats.
Yeah, so you get triple Hand of Adals. The only reason it's not an S, because I think some people are like, oh man, this is like an S tier card. It's just slow.
Very slow. Locations are all slow.
It's slow. That's the only thing holding it back. Remember, A tier cards are still very, very good. Like S tier cards are broken. Right? Now we're getting into like the Wild Seeds and Wildfall Cavern and all of that stuff. So I don't think it's as good as those because of the speed. Because you can still try to keep Priest off the board, right?
You can do really well with keeping Priest off the board if they play Cathedral of Atonement, because they're anti-tempoing. Whenever you play a location, you're anti-tempoing. Like, you're getting 3 stats for 3 mana. That's terrible. So, if you're thinking, oh, the buffs are so good, Hand of Adal. No, Hand of Adal, you buff something, and it usually has initiative. You usually do something with it. With this card, maybe the first time it triggers, you're buffing something with initiative. But the next couple times, it's going to be harder, because you're putting yourself in a hole. Like, you're drawing cards. Like, if you think you're, like, putting it at 3 mana, that's silly. Don't play this at 3 mana, right? You're, like, drawing a card at 3 mana. Why? You gotta play it later, and then it's already delayed, and then it delays even more to get its final charge. Like, it's not... Like, this meta's gonna be favorable to it, but it's not as good as it may seem if you're just, like, 3 mana, draw 3 cards, buff 9 stats. Like, that's not really what the card is. It's a lot slower than that.
Yep. All right, next.
Next up is, let's go with Clean the Scene. Clean the Scene is the last rare card for Priest. It's 5 mana Holy Spell. Destroy all minions with 3 or less attack. Infuse 3, 6 or less. And it is a C+ card.
This is one I thought would be better. And then you talked me down, and I think that is ultimately correct. So you can explain why it is not better than a C+. Because you talked me into it. I was like, I actually think you're right at the end.
I talked you into it by just asking one question. What would you rate a Twisting Nether right now? I mean, this is better than a Twisting Nether? Maybe. Not really. Because even after you infuse 3, it's not just that it's a little slower. Like 6 mana, 6 attack or less actually excludes a lot of the things you actually really want to
It
remove.
it actually does exclude something. So number one, it excludes something. Number two, you do have to infuse. Like you
Mm-hmm.
do have to infuse some, which I understand. It's not a lot. It's just infuse 3, but you do have to infuse. So which means if you are just getting this, you can't really, like you can't use it. And also, because I see some people in the chat, they're like, "Oh, well, the mana consideration is important."
Mm-mm.
Not really for
Mm-mm.
this card. Not really anymore, because of the fact that you have to infuse it, right? And because of the fact that you're it does the mana doesn't matter as much for this as like other cards, especially minions and drops. So when I thought about all of those together, I was like, yeah, I think I just got a little bit too excited about this card and the potential it has. Um, and I just don't think it's that good. Like a C plus is actually kind of like worse
The
than
average card in your deck. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, like would I take this or would I take a mass hysteria? I think I'd take a mass
Easy
hysteria.
mass hysteria. Easy
I think I
mass
just
hysteria.
would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this does have a floor even before you infuse it, which is that sometimes you really do want to destroy all minions with 3 or less attack because your opponent has spread the board and it's actually a really good board clear. So you don't always have to infuse it, but the infuse is a little annoying. It's really what gets me is that it's one that the extra 3 mana doesn't matter except that you can play it earlier. That's all that matters. But playing it earlier doesn't really matter because it now has infused, so that kind of works against it. So it's about as playable as a Twisting Nether, even though it costs 3 less. 3 mana after you have 8 mana or 10 mana or whatever, whenever you're playing this, it really doesn't matter that much. Mana really doesn't matter that much, especially in this meta, but just kind of generally, right? You're not getting that much more tempo by playing this, and the exclusion of anything with more than 6 attack is so huge. It means when you play this card, it doesn't do what you need it to do a decent percentage of time. It's not like, oh, it's just leaving 1 minion on the board. It's leaving the minion on the board.
It's leaving the minion, right? And there are things that you will need to remove. I mean, look at like Sinfield Golem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that card. You will need to remove that. You will need to remove quite a few big things. I think that's the most punishing thing about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mass hysteria can remove something like that. Uh, we compare it to the most vanilla, and I know it's not priest, but the most vanilla kind of card like this, which is Twisting Nether. They remove stuff like that. That's super punishing. The thing that you really need to remove, you absolutely cannot, even after you infuse it, you
Yep.
cannot remove that card, and that's the most important thing that you need to remove.
Yeah.
So the absolute inability to do that, I was like, okay, yep, you got me here.
Yeah.
You got me here. C plus, C plus.
Mm-hmm. Like it is a board clear, but it is not. It's oftentimes what you need, but it's also a good percentage of times going to not be able to do its job, and you can't have that. If you have a card that you're just holding on to for the board clear, you can't have it not be able to do its job, which this card does quite frequently. All right. That is clean the scene. Now we're on to the epic cards, so you're going to see these less. But this next one is really good. It's an A tier card. 4 mana, Holy Spell, Boon of the Ascended. Give a minion +2 health. Summon a Carrion with its stats and taunt. The Carrion is just a minion with taunt. There's nothing special about it. But whatever you're resummoning has 2 extra health to whatever you're copying. Remember, like 4 mana, if you're looking at the Faceless, it's also 4 mana. I think it was 5 mana and they updated it to 4 mana. You're not getting 2 extra health, and you're not summoning something with 2 extra health. So this one's just flat out better. And in a pinch, you can even do it to your opponent, right? Who cares if you give your opponent minion 2 extra health if you're going to summon a super gigantic minion for 4 mana?
Yep. I think it's just pretty solid. Yeah, I like the in a pinch you could do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like at the very least, you can try to equalize. Like even if you don't have something on your side, and if not, okay, sure. Like you're just gonna get supreme value if you have like a decent sized thing on your board.
Like, imagine if your opponent played a raid boss in Nixia.
Which is out, by the way.
Oh. Imagine if it somehow happened. You just boon it, and you'll win the game. Like, this is what I'm talking about, right? Like, the boon on your opponent's minion is actually a really good move, especially if your opponent is playing bombs of some sort.
What? How are you supposed? Wait, their thing is immune.
What do you mean their thing is immune?
Raid.
Not Raid. Raid Boss Nixia is not actually colossal. Sorry. What's the other one?
I don't know
one.
what
the
you
new
are
the
talking
new
about.
one.
Huh?
The new colossal one. The new 10 mana colossal one that just came out. I'll find it. It's Neptulon. Or Azumat. Neptulon will own the Kyrian? No, it's a Colossal, right? If you target a Colossal and you summon the Colossal, you get all its parts.
I don't think so. My initial reaction is no.
Oh, never mind. I'm reading this wrong. You summon a Kyrian with its stats and taunts. You don't copy the ability.
No, you don't summon that.
Nope, okay. Fine. It's not that powerful. But you can still get a really big card.
Okay, so we went... Your example was double flawed.
Yes.
We went through 2 layers of you being confused and wrong.
1 layer. Just twice. Same layer. Same confusion.
God. Oh my god, dude.
I was thinking it was facelessing the thing and giving it taunt, but no, it's summoning a new thing without like a vanilla version of it.
And then you got the card wrong first.
Yes.
Well,
yeah, I got the card wrong. Well, I basically consider Raid Boss Nixia a colossal card. Like I just forget that it's not actually has the word colossal in it. Okay, great. So that's Boon of the Ascended. Good card. Take it. Next, we're going to go with the other epic card. It is Mysterious Visitor. Mysterious Visitor is not good. It is a D+. It is a 2 mana, 2/3. It is a Croc, and it has Battle Cry. Reduce the cost of cards copied from your opponent by 2. You're a priest. You're going to have some cards copied from your opponent, maybe, but not that many. Like, you saw all the cards earlier, right? There's 1 card that copy card from your opponents in this set. So, I know a lot of people are like very excited about Priest copying cards from your opponent, but Priest doesn't copy that many cards from your opponent anymore. That was like a old school classic mechanic. So if you do have those cards, they are in your hand. They do get reduced by 2. It's a nice perk. A Croc is a D, not a D+. This one's a D. Oh, sorry. Yeah, this one's a D. Sorry, no, this one's a C. My bad. This one's a C. So a Croc would be a D, and this one's a C because its ability is doing something some of the time. Not a D+, but a C. Alright. Let's go on to the legendaries. Legendaries are not good. Let's start with Pelagos. Pelagos is a 3 mana 1/6. After you cast a spell on a friendly minion, set its attack and health to the higher of the 2. Okay, that's a thing. But also, this is a 3 mana 1/6, and you need to have spells that target friendly minions. So it's a lot of conditionals, and it's a terrible body. It is a D+.
Yep.
Next is the Harvester of Envy. The Harvester of Envy, another legendary card, 3 mana 4/3. After you play a card copied from the opponent, steal the original. I'm not 100% how this card works. Like, does the card have to still be in your opponent's hand? Or deck? What if it's already used? Can you steal the card from your opponent's board?
Yeah, I don't know exactly. Like, if they played it, do you still take it? Yeah, it'll take control of it from the board. That's pretty insane. But once again, it's like a thing in which I don't. This is put into Arena just to tilt people, isn't it? This is purely something to tilt people, as in it is going to be so infrequent and just so unable to play around that it's just there to tilt people 100%. That's
Yep.
it, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Nice.
So
nice.
the score we
nice.
gave it is a C, but I'm gonna put an asterisk on it because I didn't know it would actually steal stuff from the board.
I didn't know that either. But then when you
it's
posed
still a
it,
low
I was
percent.
like, oh, wait.
It's still a low
I mean, it's
percent
super
chance
low percent,
that
yeah.
you'll have a card that you get from your opponent and they will put it onto the board.
Yes,
but
it will be
for
low.
those low percent chances, that's a big swing compared to just getting the card. So I don't know. It could be a C plus.
Okay.
Cool. So this is Priest. It's got a package. And the package has removals like the light it burns. It has your card generations, like identity theft, and those are the common stuff. So it's got a package. It's good. It's got the Cathedral of Atonement. It's got a suspicious Usher. It's got a lot of things that kind of give it the bulk to make it more priesty. But the card advantage certainly won't be a problem. I think this would be a better set if it were not in this meta, because this meta kind of already does what Priest is trying to do, what this set for Priest does. And I don't know that you need more of it. Like, if you're never going to run out of cards, why are you drawing more cards, right? Like, and that's kind of what a lot of the Priest cards do. I think it will be like you'll feel unnecessary power in ways that don't matter, and you'll be missing actual power in ways that you want with Priest in this set.
I think that's fair. I got nothing to add about priests.
Yep. Someone in chat says partner in crime being common is the main issue. That is going to be super annoying. Super annoying. By the way, the combo, if you guys are looking at it, the like super simple combo that the game is begging you to do is you play Cathedral of Atonement on 3 and you don't use it, and then you play Partner in Crime on 4 and you do use it, and you have 2, 4, 6, and you have drawn a card, and you still have 2 more charges of the Cathedral of Atonement left, and you have instantly swung the game from being behind on the board to way ahead on the board. That's going to be a common combo, by the way. Because it's one rare card in this set with boosted and one common card, and both of those cards are auto picks. So you're gonna see that. And in this meta, it's not game over, but it is still very powerful. Cool. We will actually talk about Rogue next. Any shout outs you want to give?
We should shout out the Patreons. Do you have that list? I don't have that list.
Yeah, I have that list. I gave a shout out the last video for it, but we'll shout them out again. It is RV Night Train, Yin, Eric L, Dan F, Karova, REG, 4PM brand new. Thank you guys so much for keeping the light on the Lightforge podcast. We're gonna see you guys in Rogue.
See ya. Bye-bye.